Now we're going to get into, I don't know, Vicky, should we say the negative side of it? How should we premise this? Let's see. The article that we're going to use is from theguardian.com. The name of the article is Apps Promise to Revitalize, I'm saying it wrong. Apps Promise to Revolutionize Dating, but for women, they're mostly terrible. So we're talking about women per se. Dang, do we have to have a dating five and discuss men? I don't know. Never mind. Okay. All right. So as we go through the article, I'm trying to find a spot. It says, let's face it, dating apps have been terrible for women. According to this article, let me say this. According to this article, this is not, Vicky's version or my version. According to this article by Nancy Joseph, she feels that dating apps have been terrible for women, especially straight women like me, who had to deal with the straight men who used them. Although, from what I've heard from my sources and media reports, LGBTQ women have plenty to complain about as well. For years, I've been puzzled by why no one wants to be the one to say it. Is it fear of looking like an old or prude? Well, here it goes. I believe that the online dating has made single women overall less happy, less likely to find a long-term partner, and more at risk of experiencing sexual violence, all of which has only gotten worse since the pandemic, when dating sites have become pretty much the only way to date for millions of people across the world since COVID. This media tells us online. Dating has surged. Okay, I'm going to stop right there so me and Vicky can analyze and have our own conversation. I do agree that since the pandemic has started, it's getting a little bit better where we're able to go out in some places where we still got to be masked up and be careful. But for the most part, we got some people still staying at home and not ready to go out as much as they did before. And I can see how the dating app was already popular, but I can see since the pandemic and everybody, most people have to stay home, where they really would jump on the dating app and be looking for love and trying to find a date, So, anyway, go ahead. Any comments you want to say?
So I was just waiting to hear if you were trying to say that since the pandemic that you agree with her or something. I thought that's what you were getting ready to say, that you agree that it's been, more dangerous or more assaults or negative outcomes from online dating. I thought that you was getting ready to agree with her. It sounded like it. But
well,
anyway.
I wasn't talking about that part yet. I was talking about how since the pandemic, and because of the situation where we weren't able to go out that much, she was saying how, in so many words, the dating apps and people getting on dating apps has been on the rise since the pandemic. I was agreeing with that part. I could see that part.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for making that clear for me.
Yes.
So I'm not going to talk about that part. Did you want to talk about it in phases? I'm basically what you just said, what you read is what I want to comment on. So
go ahead.
The part that I want to comment on is that I can't say that I agree with her totally about the online dating being a negative experience for most women because it's just coming from her opinion and possibly experience. Because I've heard other people say different. I haven't experienced it, but I know people that do it quite a bit. Matter of fact, I wanted to ask you offline, but unofficially, but I guess we can do it online. There's someone that I want to ask to come on our show that can share their experience, and they do it quite a bit.
Okay.
Or have done it quite a bit. And they're in the age range of early 30s. And it's a female. And so, anyways, what I was going to say is possibly the same thing that's happening to them on online dating is probably the same thing that can happen to you in person. Because sometimes we attract toxic people. So sometimes you have to look at what you're attracted to as well. And I'm not trying to drop salt on them, but I'm just keeping it real. If you having all these negative experiences on online dating, what is really going on? You know what I'm saying? Because there are people that have a lot of negative experiences in person. So usually when you're talking about in person, it has a lot to do with what you're attracted to, who's attracted to you, things like that. And sometimes it's, we ignore red flags. It's a lot of different components that can lead to that experience. And I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying shame on you, nothing like that. I'm just saying I don't know if I believe that that's everybody, that's the majority experience with online dating. Like this.
Okay, so let me.
This is the first time I heard it in this way.
Okay, I understand. Because she breaks it down and does a survey, and it's a certain amount of number that she, you know how that goes. So as we continue,
that ain't going to.
I know. I'm just saying what's in the article. Just let me continue.
What area? What nationality? What?
I don't know, but let me just continue for a second. As we go on in the article, she's saying for this particular article, and she did her research or whoever she interviewed, she's saying that this doesn't say that there hasn't always been risk for women who come to dating, of course. She's not denoting that. But when it comes to dating apps, it has led to the normalization of abuses, which would have been considered appalling in other supposedly less progressive areas. Unsolicited, I hate to say the word, but it's in here, unsolicited pictures of male, female parts, harassing messages, and the non-consensual sharing of nudes are now routine features of dating for women across demographics. What some would chalk up to the new dating culture are actually crimes that women have been told to laugh off. At least they look like they're just not cool girls. So in the dating world, according to apps, according to this article, when it comes to stuff like that, they're not taking it serious. And then she even says in the article, some people she talked to, when they went to report it, there was nothing done. So that's the part I'm focusing on in this article about that part. So you want to comment on that?
I have a comment. There are people out there. So I don't know which group that she's talking about, but they got people that actually like that kind of. So usually
that's what she's saying, that they kind of like laugh it off, like it's no big deal.
No, I'm saying like on both sides. Like the man is sending it and the woman is sending it. So I'm saying it's both sides that they like it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not abusive. It's not considered abusive because they like it. You understand what I'm saying? That's their lifestyle.
Okay.
So I'm saying the ones that she's pointing out, and I'm not saying it's cool to do that, but I'm just telling you as far as society, a lot of them like that kind of stuff. They do that on text messages. They do that on social media. So I'm saying like that's not proof to say that that a lot of people on there are being sexually harassed is what I'm saying. However, I'm not saying it's not happening, but I haven't heard it in the streets. I ain't heard it. And then the other part is that she's saying that they're being harassed or whatever, or whatever,
sexual assault. Yes.
They have some people that do online dating, and they have really good outcomes, and they don't go on there and report it. They don't put on there and report, oh, I had a really good outcome, I met my mate, all this kind of stuff, because some people are private. So how can you say that it's more? So unless you're going by the ones that's reported, but how do you? I mean, we both know that everybody don't report all crimes.
Yes.
And vice versa. Everybody don't always report, because I know me, 9 times out of 10, I don't feel like doing all that. So that you may not know my experience. So I'm just saying I go back to the same thing. Just because she said that. Because the only reason why I'm speaking is, because I'm giving my opinion in regards to my experience with other people that talk about it and that go through it. Even if they have, it's like the negativity that I've heard about online dating is that they didn't like it, or it was a bad date, that kind of thing. But I have not heard nobody be assaulted. I have not heard nothing like that. But I've heard, it took me a long time before I found somebody that I liked, or I did not find nobody I liked. It was stuff like that.
I understand. And to be honest, I haven't heard anything either until I read this article. But like I said, I feel that, this is good information to just, give people to be alert.
Yes, people should be aware that this could happen. However, I'm not going to say, even when I educate people, in regards to people I come in contact with, girl, I heard this lady wrote an article and said that it's a lot of violence, blah, 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 blah. But I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to tell them the same thing I'm going to tell them if they meet somebody in person, that you need to look for the red flag. You need to make sure that you don't settle, that you set your values high. You know what I mean? Like certain things that you would do in person the same way you would do with online dating.
Amen. So let me continue some more because she gives us some stats. And thank you for your viewpoint, Vicki. It's very helpful. As we're saying, all this is according to the article. All we're doing is giving information. We're not saying we agree. Well, Miss Vicki's saying she disagrees. But dating apps.
I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it 100.
Yes, and I wouldn't want it no other way. All I'm doing is reporting the information. I'm being journalist today. Dating app companies, according to this article, which inhibit a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yes, these dating apps, I know they're making money. Multi-billion-dollar industry have been very adept at co-opted feminism in the marketing of their products as empowering. Yet they do not do anything to help women with their very real concerns. In a 2019 survey by ProPublica and Columbia Journalism Investigations of 1,200 women who said that they had used an online dating platform in the past 15 years, more than a third of the women said they were sexually assaulted by someone they had met through the dating app. And of these women, more than half said they were raped. These are astronomical figures, and yet somehow still largely left out of the online dating conversation. One more thing, nearly every one of the hundreds of women and girls that I interviewed about online dating over the last several years has told me she's experienced some incident where she didn't feel safe, if not something much worse. But these same women say that when they've tried to report these incidents, the dating apps questions often don't even respond. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Vicki.
I was just going to say that that's one of the reasons why I was not ever interested in online dating, because a lot of times dating, I feel like you meet somebody on these sites, and you're not even really sure if this is the actual person. Now, according to the site or whatever, they rules and policies and all that, you have to go through. Well, the ones that you have to pay for, you're supposed to go through some type of routine background check. But I'm not really. I haven't ever did the background check or anything like that. I'm just kind of going by memory, because I remember when we was in school, we had to do a research paper on it, on swinging, and it went into dating online. But my point is that that's one of the reasons why, because I don't know who I'm dealing with. I have to. I can't even be in their presence to get to know them, to feel their spirit, whatever the case may be. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to get involved in that. Then the other thing is that if you